Tonight, the January 6th Select Committee has issued its first subpoenas. The panel targeting 4 top Trump loyalists. We're joined by a key member of the committee, the House Intelligence Committee Chairman, Congressman Adam Schiff. Mr. Chairman, thanks so much for joining us. Why are these 4 witnesses who've just been subpoenaed, all close Trump aides, so critical to your investigation?
Well, because they were in and around the president on these pivotal days, on January 5th, on January 6th. They were in communication, some of them with each other, others with the president. And we want to know, what was the administration aware of in the run-up to January 6th? What did they know about the propensity for violence among those that were being rallied to come to this Stop the Steal event, as the president's campaign billed it? What was going on at the Pentagon? And this will help us fill out the picture of what led to that bloody insurrection. And we need to know all the facts in order to be able to protect the country going forward.
Indeed. The former President Trump, he reacted saying, and I'm quoting him now, "We will fight the subpoenas on executive privilege and other grounds," calling your investigation, once again, I'm quoting, unselect committee. Does that threat by the former president have any teeth? Because the White House, the current White House, says President Biden wouldn't assert executive privilege.
Well, first of all, it's very encouraging that the Biden administration is not going to allow those that were potentially implicated in January 6th to hide behind bogus claims of privilege. So that's very encouraging from the Biden administration. We wouldn't expect anything different from Donald Trump. Look, he spent 4 years stonewalling all subpoenas. He spent the last couple years pushing out this big lie, and now he's continuing to push out the big lie. So this is not surprising. We're going to use whatever compulsion we need to get these witnesses to testify, and we went straight to subpoenas because we were aware that they might very well try to do what they did, frankly, in the last administration, that is run out the clock for years and years.
The chairman of the Select Committee, Benny Thompson, says if these witnesses don't comply, then, I'm quoting now, criminal contempt or other measures will be open to us. That's a quote from Benny Thompson. What other measures, Mr. Chairman, are on the table?
Well, that is, frankly, the most, probably the most severe measure. There are a number of ways to enforce subpoenas, as we've tried over the last 4 years. There is civil efforts to seek to effectuate those subpoenas in court, but that can be very time-consuming. Now, during the last administration, when Bill Barr was the Attorney General, he was doing everything he could to protect the person of the country, not the country itself, which meant, of course, that he wasn't going to assist in enforcing subpoenas. But it's a very different Justice Department now that puts the public interest first. And so if people, willfully ignore the law and they defy these subpoenas, then pursuing a criminal contempt is viable. And we would hope that we would have the support of the Justice Department in that. We have to reestablish that people can't simply thumb their nose at legal process and get away with it.
While you're investigating the lies that led to the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, the former president is continuing this effort, lashing out at senators for not fighting harder for his coup attempt, calling on Texas right now, the state of Texas, to audit the 2020 election. How dangerous is all of this?
It's extremely dangerous because, what the former president is doing and has been doing is undermining one of the pillars of our democracy, and that is that we settle our disputes at the polling place, that we believe in our election system, that we have faith in our democracy. He's undermining that faith. In California, where we just had a recall election, the recall was overwhelmingly defeated. And of course, Trump and his allies and Republican Party officials around the country make bogus claims of fraud. And sadly, a great many people believe them. I saw some polling out of California that showed a very high degree of Republicans, high percentage of Republicans, who believe now those big lies about the California election. So it's deeply damaging to our democracy.
It certainly is. Congressman Adam Schiff, thanks so much for joining us.